Sometimes we get lost, sometimes we don't know. And at those times, we all seek refuge in many different things. My refuge at the time of hardship is Bahai faith. And I wake up every day to find myself ever more grateful to have this shield, without which I wouldn't be who I am today. I'm happy for this opportunity to share some information about the newest world religion, Bahai faith. My aim up here is to give you some information. It is not to tell you everything that there is about Bahai faith, because there is no way I can do that. It is not to tell you that this is the only way, because Baha'is don't believe in converting people. I'll just talk about 3 basic things. So who the founder of this faith was, what are some teachings, and what's its main aim. I was born in a Baha'i family, but I think that doesn't mean anything. For I believe it's the power of faith that gives you credibility to talk about something. And I'm sure that each one of us in here has the desire to change the world. Who wants their children to be born in a world filled with chaos with no room for love? No one, right? So if you want to more consciously contribute into rebuilding our world, then you'll find the information I'm about to give you helpful. So let's just start with the founder of the faith. So Baha'is are followers of Baha'u'llah, which means the glory of God. So all the religions of the past have all promised a time in future when peace and harmony will be realized. So Baha'is believe that the promised hour has come and that Baha'u'llah is the prophet, that his teachings will enable mankind to build a new world. Baha'u'llah in his own words describes this as that which the Lord hath ordained as the sovereign remedy and mightiest instrument for the healing of all the world is the union of all its people in one universal cause and a common faith. Just to give you a little background about who Baha'u'llah was, he was born in a very wealthy family in Iran. His father was a nobleman in king's court, and when he was offered the same position, he refused it because he wished to dedicate his time to help the needy, the oppressed, and the sick, and to champion the cause of justice. Baha'u'llah, just like Jesus, just like any other prophet, suffered immensely. He was exiled, poisoned, and imprisoned. But despite all that, he had great influence on hearts of many. So that was just a little introduction to who Baha'u'llah, the founder of our faith, was. Next, I'd like to talk about some teachings. So Baha'u'llah tells us that there is only one God. Even though different religions may refer to it by different names such as Allah or Jehovah or God, they're all referring to the same being, the Creator. And I use the word being because that leads us to the next teaching that I would like to talk about, which is the fact that God is unknowable in his essence. So what that means is that we shouldn't have images of God in our mind like an old man. Maybe different religions might refer to it with different things, but they're all referring to our Creator. And I can use an analogy to help you understand this a little better. For example, you're an artist and you create this beautiful piece of art. You put your love and energy to it. But no matter how beautiful and how perfect it is, can it ever understand you, its creator? Can it ever be compared to you? No, so it's the same way that our relationship with our Creator goes. So although God's existence is far beyond our understanding, that doesn't mean that he leaves us alone. So what happens is he sends messengers. If you look directly at the sun for too long, you'll go blind. Human eyes simply don't have the capacity to look at sun for too long. But what happens if you take a perfectly polished mirror and you place it in front of the sun? Then you can see the reflection of sun in it, right? You see its attributes, its colors. So these messengers, they're these special beings. They're so pure that they can reflect the light of God. Although we can't understand God, but through them, we see God's beauty. And even though these manifestations may look different, be called different names, but come at different times, they all are same in their essence. And why is that? Simply because they're all reflecting the light of the same sun, because we said there is only one God, right? So they're all bringing messages from the same God. That's why if you study different religious scriptures, you find out that many of the basic teachings are the same. Like they all tell you to be nice. They all tell you to love one another. But one thing differs, and that's their social teachings. And why does that differ? Simply because these prophets are coming to us at different times in history. Society is evolving. It needs different things at each stage. So Baha'is are people who believe that Baha'u'llah has the message for this day and age. So Now, I have told you about who the founder of the faith was and what are some of the teachings, but I think the most important question is, what's the aim of Baha'i faith? So, Baha'i faith is trying to unify humanity. In Baha'i teachings, we're constantly told that we're the fruits of one tree, leaves of one branch. Although we differ physically and emotionally, although we have different capacities and talents, we all spring from the same root. We all belong to the same human family. You know, humanity can be likened unto a garden. You know, what makes a garden beautiful is different flowers with different colors, right? A garden with one kind of flower is not pleasing to the eye. So whether you're white or black, or you're from Asia or Mexico, or anywhere else in the world, you belong to this family, our human family. And you, with your unique qualities and talents, enhance the beauty of this family. This is the way Baha'is view other people who are around them. And we're just trying to build and maintain unity. And you know, building unity is not an easy task. But at least we believe we have guidance from our Prophet who tells us how to approach this. Abdul Baha was the son of the founder of the faith, Baha'u'llah. And what Baha'u'llah has done with us, Abdul Baha explains it in this passage. Baha'u'llah has drawn the circle of unity. He has made a design for the uniting of all the peoples and for the gathering of them all under the shelter of the tent of universal unity. We must all strive with heart and soul until we have the reality of unity in our midst. Baha'is believe it's time to end prejudice. It is time to raise together the banner of peace and justice. Because if we don't do so now, we're going to be responsible to our future generations. Every day, you'll be exposed to different ideas, different things that claim to be the solution. I think what a wise person would do is to examine each one of them closely. If it fails to fulfill its claim, you've lost 30 minutes of your life. But what if it does contain some truth? Then you have just gained a new way to look at life. Today, I only shared very few details and basic topics, including who the founder of this faith was, what are some teachings, and what's Baha'i faith's aim. But there's much more to reflect on. I would like to end today with a quote from Abdul Baha that summarizes what it means to be a Baha'i. To be a Baha'i simply means to love all the world, to love humanity, and to try to serve it. To work for universal peace and universal brotherhood. Thank you.